Good morning, Flosstube. It's Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher. Today is April 28th, 2024, and I think I've decided I'm just not going to say the Flosstube number because I forget to check every time, and I don't think it really matters. So welcome to my Flosstube channel. It's a channel about cross stitching and collecting things and planning and dreaming and life updates. So if you're a subscriber, thank you for subscribing to my channel. And if you aren't a subscriber, feel free to join us. Thanks for coming back if you're a returning person, and if you're new and you just found my channel, welcome. So since the last time, it's been a few weeks. What have I done? Let's see, I went up to Acorns and Threads and bought some threads. One day we had a barbecue at our house. We live on a piece of property with a tiny house and a shop that has a room in it. And in that room, when I say a shop, it's a building that's 36 by 48, I think. And there's an interior room that my husband built for us to live in while he builds the house, which hasn't been started yet, by the way. We're getting closer. And so we're just enjoying our life in the country. We love it out here. If you watch my Instagram account, you'll see stories where I post pictures of the turkeys that run around here, or the wild things that bloom, whatever, the trees, the sunrise, the sunset. Let's see. So I also so we had a barbecue. There was supposed to be a beautiful day. It's going to be 73 and sunshiny, and it rained all day. So we had a barbecue, but everybody was in the shop, and it was just fine. We had a great time. My husband made a brisket for the first time. It was delicious. Then I had a girls' weekend the next weekend at the coast. And it's so funny. I was thinking about something I said, I think in the last video, that I don't get out of the house much. And it's true. During the week, I'm pretty much here the whole week. And sometimes I'm here a whole weekend and then the next week. But a lot of times I am gone. Like I'm on girls' weekends, I'm on retreats, my husband and I go places. And so I think in my mind, because I'm not going places during the week, it feels like I'm just here all the time. We had a great time. I'll put some pictures at the end of some of the vacation pictures over at the coast. And so this next week I'm on vacation. Today I'm going to go in and work a little bit because I need to get ready for vacation. But Lori's going to come over on Tuesday and we're going to do some shopping around here. And then we're flying out to the Farm Girl retreat on Wednesday. So I'm so excited to see my friends. I am so excited. It feels like it's been a bit of a drought, but it hasn't. I mean, well, it was last fall. I guess it was last fall. Anyway, so looking forward to that. And I have a whole pile of things here that I'm going to show you. And most of it's stitching, some of it's some other stuff that I picked up. So yesterday, my mom and sister and I went to a kind of a art craft fair. It's called Blackberry Primitives. And so here's the deal. It's at the fairgrounds. The first year we went on the preview night, and we were picking stuff from the event. Like, you would take it to the front and pay at the front. They had these whole banks of cashiers, and it was crazy. The stuff was so good. It was so reasonable. We kept taking armloads full of stuff to the front. Well, I found a couple things this time. We went on the last day. It's changed. It's now you pay at each vendor. Sometimes they just only take cash. And it was fine. But one of the gals said it's just never been the same since COVID, which is unfortunate. So anyway, I picked a couple things up there. And I'll share those with you. Where do I want to start? I think I will start with the giveaway from last time, because sometimes I put that at the front, the middle, the end. You just never know when you come to my channel. I had a giveaway. This is the tray that came with the Charlotte, is it Warrington? The big project, exclusive project from Homespun Needleworks Exclusives. I think it's a Facebook group. This came with that project. I don't need it. I've got lots of these types of things. So the winner of this is at Patricia Lambusta 7865. And I will put my email address in the drop down below. So please go ahead and reach out to me through email with your address. The next one is Leeds House Sampler, and it comes with 2 thread packs. One of them is the one I used, and there's some of each color left, but not enough, I don't think, to do this sampler a second time. So I I had bought 2 when I bought this. And I didn't need to because I stitched on 40 count, which I would never do again, by the way, with the salt keys. I would only stitch at 32 or lower probably. The winner of this is at Stitching Lone Star 6362. So congratulations and email me. The last one is Susanna Mill. This one is, the keyword was hops, and the winner is at Mixed Stitches in Indiana. So please reach out to me through email and we will get you those charts. Now, what have I been working on? Yes, that does sound like China because it is. Because I have a thing for dishes. In fact, my husband sold, I bought some at a garage sale and he sold them on the internet. I'm like, God, but you know, it's okay. It's just stuff. No big deal. I mean, I consented that he could go ahead and sell it because we were moving, but now, like, don't sell my stuff. What have I been working on? I have 2 finishes and a whip. Let me show you the whip first because it's still on my Q snap. This is Christmas at Huckran Hollow. I am stitching one of these blocks a month, and I have stitched the bottom row. I changed this one entirely and dedicated it to my grandmother. So I stitched this one last month in March, and I just picked this up last night because one of the things I was working on, I was determined to finish this month. So I didn't get to this whip as early. So it'll not be finished probably this, you know, in the next couple days, which is fine. And then I'll pivot over to this one next. So this is Christmas at Huckran Hollow, and I'm stitching it in the NPI Silks. My kids bought me this for Christmas. Oh, by the way, red sweatshirt, red lipstick. Thank you to the people who commented on my green shirt that matched the cabinet behind me and this kind of green-blue color over here. It's hilarious. I saw it when I watched the video back. I'm like, well, I look like I match my furniture. So today is not a matchy-matchy day, except for my lips match my sweatshirt. Because Sunday, right? I don't know why I would wear red lipstick on a Sunday. Anyway, this is what my kids bought me for Christmas. I had asked for it. There's 4 of them. They all pitched in, and that was lovely. So here's where I am on the, I call them the Tim Burton people. They kind of have a white pasty face, and they're odd looking, but I kind of like that about them. So I started working and stitching on this gal. I picked it up last night, so it goes pretty quickly. There's a lot of stitching on this block, but it's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work on this. I might take this to the retreat with me. There's some kind of blockish type stitching, so it would be easy to kind of outline and then fill in at the retreat. The finishes, I was mostly done with lead sampler. I had to do the alphabet last time when I showed this, and I just love this one. This is on 40 count fresco by Picture This Plus. It doesn't really show a lot of modeling on the camera. It has just the ever slightest bit of green or blue undertones of modeling. It is, I think that's what this is stitched on. Nope, that's wrong. I'm looking for the blue and the green, like I don't see it. I think this is platinum. I think I'm stitching this on 40 count platinum. I'm getting this mixed up with another whip that I have that's stitched on fresco. Anyway, those alphabets, I loved them. It was a fun design to stitch. Very kind of watercolorish looking with the colors, the greens, the blues. Kind of a springy stitch, I would say. It says, may the raindrops fall lightly on your brow. May the soft winds freshen your spirit. May the sunshine brighten your heart. May the burdens of the day rest lightly upon you. And may God enfold you in the mantle of his love. So pretty. So I will add that to my finished pile that's growing. Hopefully I'll get around to framing something one of these days. The next one, oh, I have another finish. I have a little finish from last time too. This was, it's Muted Spring, Elizabeth Needlework Design. It's a free craft. So I'll just show you. You can go on the internet and find it. My friend Kim had us over for a stitch day, and she kitted this up for us and gave it to us. And I had some of it done, I think, last time, but I finished it. And it's so adorable. So I'm thinking I'll finish this. I'm going to try the mattress finish, where it's a little box looking, you know, anyway, if you don't know how a mattress finish is, go Google it. Super cute. So I finished that one. Then my last finish, I just finished yesterday, day before. Anyway, it's one that was not even on my focus list for this year. Peaceful Garden Sampler by Moira Blackburn. I changed the threads. I did an overdyed conversion, and it did change the look of the sampler, I think. Although I haven't gone and looked at a lot of finishes, but in here you can see how bright that blue is. This is all charted in DMC, I think. Yes, it's all DMC originally. So mine is overdyed, so it's a lot lighter, a lot more watercolor-ish. And this was so much fun to stitch. I loved stitching this. Now, last time I had the center section done, and I had this over here done. I think I had this part of the border done. So it took much longer than I thought it would to finish it, simply because there's a lot of color changes and a lot of, you have to pay attention to what's going on with the pattern. There's not a lot of just fill in. There's a lot of counting on this one. And what I love, this is my favorite, you guys, this is my favorite. A couple of my favorite things are these little bumblebees and that little heart. Adorable. The date is split between here and here, and she didn't give you any of the numbers. So you had to make it up. It was fine. Turned out good. And then my favorite is this little dog. Now on the chart, there's no nose, but in the picture, there's a nose. So I put a French knot on there, and it looks like you're going to go boop. It's totally a boop nose. Then the cat is adorable. Oh, there's a tassel that's on the cat's bed down here that's in the picture that's not on the chart. So I had to pay attention to that. Some other changes that I made. So these two colors here, this is Rain Shower by Gentle Arts, and this is Green Pasture. In the chart, it's charted for 4 different color DMC threads. So I just used variegation to sort of, throughout the chart, like this is all Green Pasture in here. So I didn't like stitch it strategically, but here I did, where the darker is on the outside and the lighter is on the inside. What else did I change here besides all the threads? The inside of this heart, I changed it to, it's caramel. It's a limited edition, so sorry about that. It's a Gentle Art limited edition color. And that is also this color down here. So sometimes it's lighter, like in the inside of this heart, and sometimes it's bolder, like in these raspberries. So I think I've decided these are blackberries or boysenberries. These are strawberries, these are cherries, and these are raspberries. That's what I'm going with. You might think it's something else. This is a hedgehog. This is a squirrel. These are chickens. I did keep the DMCs for the chickens, and oh, the leaves down here. These were kind of fun down here. I thought this added some different interest. It kind of brought in the fall, you know, part of the garden instead of just all of it being spring and summer. And what else can I tell you about this one? Well, let me give you the threads and tell you a little bit about how I stitched it. I posted a picture of this. Actually, I'm just going to hold it up like this and you can screenshot it. Okay, so DMC 3041, I chose Hyacinth by Gentle Arts. 407, I chose Secondhand Rose from Gentle Arts. 919 is Red Rocks by Weeks Dye Works. 712 is Between the Shadows, which is Ship's Manor. It was just in my stash. You could use Ecru. It's very, very similar. 935, oh, actually, you could just use the DMC of 712 is what they call for. 935, I chose Grape Leaf by Gentle Arts. It's one of my favorite greens, by the way. I love Grape Leaf. 780 and 782, I chose Wheat Fields by Gentle Arts. 611, I chose Brass by Victorian Motto. You could just use 611. What I had, the brass wasn't very modeled at all. So DMC 744 was Sunflower by Classic Colorworks. 356 was Caramel, which is that Gentle Arts limited edition. And I'm not sure, it's sort of a melony color, watermelonish color. 3012 was Chives by Gentle Arts. 730 was Endive by Gentle Arts. 938 was Dark Chocolate by Gentle Arts. 926 and 927 was Rain Shower by Gentle Arts. 503 and 501 was Green Pasture by Gentle Arts. 315 was Briar Rose by Gentle Arts. By the way, that's a gorgeous color. Lots of different variegations. 783 was Gold Leaf by Gentle Arts. 3022 was Confederate Gray by Weeks Dye Works. When there was a couple of blends in there, I just chose one of the two blend colors. I didn't substitute those. The yellow in the lady's dress, she's got like stripes on her dress. I changed that to 744 DMC because it looked better with the fabric and the colors that I had picked that surrounded it. The chickens, there's 3 colors in the chickens. I used Wheat Fields for the light part, 782 for the medium, and 780 for the dark of DMC. The last 2 are DMCs. And the leaves I used, at the bottom, I used 780 and 782. So that's the conversion. You know, I had multiple skeins of some of my overdyed threads and used them sort of just strategically. So it makes it unique to me. And you can make whatever you want. Like, you can completely change the color. If you don't, you can use part of the conversion. You can use none of the conversion. And I just thought I'd share it because I know that people, I had a couple people ask about it. So those were my whips, my whip and my finishes. And two more 2018 starts, Leeds House and Peaceful Garden, are done. I have 34 whips. So it was a laborious month. It took a while to get through stuff, but I'm super happy about it. Now, let me show you. This will be a little bit shorter video today. That's great. After I finished my last video, my friend Vanessa, who is at Flame Fingers on Instagram, she messaged me and she goes, I have been wanting to stitch Good Company by Scarlet House. I sprung out of my chair. I went over and grabbed it and started kitting stuff up. I'm like, hold on. I want to stitch it with you. So I went up to Acorns and Threads and I bought the threads. So I bought the silks, and I have another pattern that I bought silks, and I'm going to pull silks from another project that I have because the silk skeins there's a lot of threads on there, a lot of yardage and plies of threads. So I'm going to not buy doubles of the silks. And this isn't a thread heavy type of project. I mean, there's quite a bit of green in here, but really it's not bad. This one says, she lives on a hill overlooking the sea with only her dogs for good company. She doesn't need less, she doesn't need more than to hear the waves crash into the shore. Now, a friend on the last video reached out to me and said, hey, I know where there's some vintage pear. So I called the shop and I ordered some, and it should be coming next week. Now, Janine from Acorns and Threads said vintage pear used to be lighter and browner than the dye-lots that she's seen recently. So we'll see if it's really the color that I want. I do like the color that's in here, but we'll see. I might just go with kind of a overdyed beige tan, something like that. It's not like I don't have fabric to pick from. So hopefully we'll get to start that. Vanessa's going to be at the Farm Girl Retreat, so I think we should start it there. We'll see what she says. And the silks are scrumptious. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. This is all Gloriana's. Now, Vanessa said, well, I'll wait for you, right? But I also have another one that I want to start. To which I said, oh, I've got that one too. And it is, the next two I'm going to show you, I apologize, they're out of print. It's Primitive Traditions, good, love to one, friendship to many, goodwill to all. And I know, I'm sorry it's out of print. I think I got this from Stash and Load 100 years ago. And I did buy the threads to go with this one too, so that when Vanessa says, I am ready to start, which if she may have already, it's probably done. She probably finished it already. Anyway, so this one is on my to start list. I just need to pick some fabric for that. So as I'm digging around, which I'm prone to do, right? Rifling through my stash. And I know you do too. So don't think it's just me. I know you're a stash diver too. I picked this one up. And this one I have been wanting to start forever. It is also by Primitive Traditions, because I was looking at my Primitive Traditions pile of stuff, and it's called Grace and Plenty. And this is what I think a stitching row to friends would look like. Houses with all the good flowers and bouquets. This says, may joy and peace surround you, content you latch your door, may happiness be with you and bless you evermore. And it says, peace and grace be to this place. So I bought the Belle Soise to go with that too. And again, the other project I have that has Belle Soise in it will go with this. So I have about maybe half again as many threads to pull from that project and add to it. And then this ring of goodness is going to be for both projects, both the Good Company and Plenty and Grace. I need to pick fabric for that too. So my whip count's at 34, but that won't last long. Now, in May, I hope to work on a couple of projects. Well, first of all, I need to catch up on my Hawk-Run Hollow. I'll be working on that in the near future, probably until I've done the block that's due. That's, you know, the April block. And I want to work on Florentina, which is my Mirabilia focus for the year. And I'm going to try and get all of her skin done. So I stitched the skin over one, and her face is done and kind of to here. So I need to stitch this part, one arm, and the other arm's not even, it's holding like flowers or greenery or something. That whole thing needs to be done. So I'm going to work on trying to get all of that done. So the top half of Florentina will be done hopefully by the end of May. It's fussy. That over one skin business, that's kind of fussy stitching. The other one I have is Prize Your Liberty by Merrily Beams. And this is now available through 1884 Stitchery. So what I have is the original that a friend of mine, oops, I probably should cover that. That's her old address. She gifted me this chart, and I started it in 2020 when I did the Stitch Mania that was patriotic. I did 31 starts. So this is on a, I don't know what it is. This is my start. It's huge. It's huge. This is the bottom left corner. And I have an interesting collection of threads that I don't know that this is what I will stick with. I've got a couple of different reds, a few different blues, and a green-brown color, which I don't think I'm going to use this one. Or if I stitch it, it's going to be just the green, and I'll just cut out the brown part. So this is kind of, that's what I picked in 2020, but this is subject to revision. So I'm going to take a look at this again and maybe, I don't know, figure out if that's really what I'm going to stitch it with. Some of these are silks. Some of these, two of these are silks for you, silks, which I have these and a green, a couple greens, a white. I love silks for you silks. This is a fantastic deal. Used to be a whole hank was $30, and they're fantastic colors. So I'm not sure. I've got so much of that, I'll try and use it, but we might have to coordinate other thread colors. I'm not sure. So the last bit I have here is some haul. And when I went to the girls' weekend at the coast in Oregon, in Newport. We went to an antique store I had not been to, and it was fantastic. Sometimes you go to an antique store and it's like all old tools or comic books or Pyrex dishes or whatever, things that I'm not interested in. Well, this one had linens and trims and all kinds of good things. So this jumped out at me. I bought this little frame and it was like $8. Now it's small, but gosh, isn't that a pretty frame? And it was, somebody took time to, I don't know, gild it. It looks like it could be gold paint. Anyway, this will go to good use. I also picked up this book. I mean, I just love the cover of this book. This is called, what is this called? Something, The Vicar of Wakefield. I feel like this might be a good smut book, but I'm not sure. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, this is what killed me. The inscription, presented to Larky Nelson as a reward of merit by his teacher, W.B. Gilbert. What? I feel like I picked up a piece of history. I don't know who Larky Nelson is, but what a lucky person to get this book. I bought it just because I liked it. And we went to another store. It was called the Gingham Dog, I think. And I'm like, what's in that store? So we stopped because I'm with my girlfriends and we can stop wherever we want. First of all, we went to a delicious bakery that had the most amazing shortbread cookies. And they make different things. They're only open like 3 days a week, but they make something different every day. The line was out the door. It was amazing. But the first place we stopped on our way back was the Gingham Dog. Now, I'm a huge fan of transferware. Lori McClary, my friend, we share this passion. We love transferware. This was a Currier and Ives platter. It was $8. And so I was just like, I have to have that. Look at all of that. It's got, I think this is Virginia. It's supposed to be a picture of Virginia. Let's see. Harper's Ferry, Virginia. It's supposed to be Harper's Ferry, Virginia. So you've got this little homestead here. And you've got a family on a road right down here and a railroad crossing, it looks like over here. And the town is down below. There's like a smelt building and all the foliage. It's gorgeous. I just sat there staring at this. So the gal who runs it is really nice. And she says, well, I didn't have any cash with me. And she's like, I have a $10 minimum. And I thought, well, just charge me $10 for that, and I definitely wanted it. But then as I snooped through the store and I was looking for something, I found a little treasure. And you might have seen this on my Instagram channel. So this is a medal that was in a little case right by the register. And it says, what does it say? Athletic Carnival Homecoming Celebration 1909. And this is the Bell City Racine. So it might be Racine, Wisconsin. And it's the 60-yard dash. First prize, the 60-yard dash. I don't think you can see the great engraving on the back. But this is something that's perfect to add to, I'm thinking the Blackbird America book that has all the Americana stitching in it. And they have like a little medal on there from maybe a veteran. But I'm like, stitch this on there and put a little bow on the top. Oh my gosh, I was dying. This was inexpensive also, but it got me over the $10 mark. And so I was super happy with that. I didn't even see that. Like, I was really having to search for something. And she was very reasonable, the stuff in her store. Okay, so yesterday, my mom and sister and I went to that Blackberry Primitives spring fair. And I did buy a couple things, despite it being the last day. More transferware. So a gal had this in her booth, and she is like, we sold most of my stuff, so I brought more stuff in today. She says, I'm really sorry that I don't have the lid for this creamer and sugar. This is the creamer, this is the sugar. It usually would have a lid on it, but immediately I knew what I would do with this. So this will be probably something where I'll put paintbrushes or pencils or something of that nature in my craft room. And the reason why is that there's a lot of room in it, but it has a kind of a narrower opening, so that everything will stand up right. It won't, sometimes when you have wide openings, it splays out and it's at more risk of, getting knocked over. So this was like $3. It was like going to a garage sale. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. And then in her same booth was a Tidy Made thread holder from the 50s. Now it's got a crack on the top, but it was only $2.50. So these fit the 103 spools perfectly. And there are Gutermann, you can get this on Amazon. There are modern ones from Gutermann that do the same thing. So these are available, but I just saw it and I was like, it was there and it was hardly anything. Oh, and this. What? So cute. And so remember a couple of videos ago, I showed you another spool I bought that would be cute for that new Stacy Nash piece design called Bobbin with the mouse that sits on top. Well, I think this is going to supersede that one because it's got little key charms on it. It's really cute. And he has I think it's a thread that comes off of it and it's wrapped around the spool. Well, you can just tuck it in or wrap it just part way or not wrap it at all. So got that. Then the last thing I got was more transferware. So the last booth we went to, I saw this. I'm like, oh, look at that handle. The shape is fantastic. And you know what? When you see these, a lot of times there's chips. There's not a chip or crack on this. So this one is, I don't think I've ever seen this design before, but there's an island in the middle of a lake. So this is a lake. And there is a big fancy house here. This looks like, there's a boat going down to the water, a ladder and a boat. There's another house in the island and the flock of sheep and another house. And it's green. So I tend to decorate more with greens and reds. They're just my favorites. Even though it seems like Christmas, I just love green, red, and gold. It's my favorite color combination. And you see that in my stitching probably too. It's been a good haul week, couple weeks. PBS, if you enjoy Jane Austen, this is the adaptation because this was an incomplete book that I think it was her last work that she was working on before she died. It's fantastic. I've watched it 100 times. I have the PBS subscription through Prime Video, and I watch it over and over. And so I did buy the DVD, and yes, I know you can live stream that or you can stream it, but honestly, if there's a time when I don't have Prime, which is unlikely to happen because I use Prime Photo, and all of my photos I take upload to the cloud, and I don't have to remember to do it. So if I lost my phone or something happened to my phone, I wouldn't lose my pictures. Tip. It's a pro tip right there. It's free with Prime. It automatically is a benefit. So this is awesome. I love that. And I have a couple DVD players. I know. I'm 100 years old, but that's okay. I was thinking about this for my nephew. And summer's coming, and so it's going to be reading time. And he is, I think, 9 or 10. When I was a kid, there were definitely books that I loved, and I'm sure you had those books too. So I love the Laura Ingalls books. I read My Boys, the whole set. The first 3 I read them through and through to them. The oldest 3 kids, I read it to them. And then when my youngest came along, they'd already heard the older one, so I read the whole series to him. But there's this one. It's called The Borrowers. And I think I have these books all separately, but this is the box set. I bought it off of Amazon. And there's nothing better than kicking off your summer with great summer reading. Now, I hope to see them at our family reunion in August. So I might just wait and give it to him then. So it's something for him to do at the end of summer when he's bored to tears. I might open it and read it myself first. Yesterday, Mom and I went to a quilt store on our way back from that Blackberry Primitives fair. And Lori and I are going to get on Tuesday. She was working on a project and she needed some more fabric. And then I saw this finished quilt was hanging on the wall, and it was gorgeous. It is called All Roads Lead to Home. All Roads Lead to Home. And it's in a book. Let me show you the book. The pattern came with this. And it's Annie's quilting, stash busting. And in this book, it's a fall themed color. Well, they took it and made it patriotic with Minnick and Simpson. By the way, Minnick and Simpson announced that they're retiring. They are primarily fabric designers who quilt. They do rug hooking. One of the sisters does rug hooking and one does quilting, and it's all red, white, and blue. If you go to their Instagram or their website, that's what you'll see, all their quilts. So this is a kit that has Belle Isle, I think, is the main fabric line, and it has all the stuff that comes with it. The backing, or the background fabric, is white. And I bought the border because I loved the border fabric. And then this is the backing, and this is the binding. So am I going to start this anytime soon? Probably not. I just do not have a good place to sew. I've got project bags cut out and ready to sew, and I don't know. My husband's got to go away for the weekend, and I can sew in our room here in the shop. We're almost there. We're almost there. I did get a couple of orders that came online orders, actually. I ordered this. This was a market piece that I love. I bought it through Acorns and Threads. And it is by Kim Nugent from Samplers Not Forgotten. She's the designer. Next week at the Farm Girl Retreat. I loved that, so I had Janine order it for me. Acorns and Threads. They have such great service. Fantastic service. This is Scenic Farm by Dimensions. I ordered it from Hirschner's. Michelle, Rudy from Farm Girl Dry Goods. She stitched this. This was her 4-H fair piece, and I've seen it in her house. It's absolutely gorgeous. I know when she was working on this, the internet went crazy, and then Dimensions decided to reprint this chart and offer the kits. Also, I bought from Kitten Stitcher 2 of her charts from Market, one nickel needle and Pretty in Pink. These 2. They will be fun and quick to stitch. Then she had another one that was Home Sweet Home, I think. And I thought I ordered the pattern, but I did not. I ordered the buttons that were on the pattern. So I need to get the pattern. And then Teresa is so sweet. She just put it looks like a fat quarter of Teresa Kogut fabric in as a gift. We're almost there. I know I'm running out of space too. I'm going to have to, I don't know. My husband better build me a house. That's all I got to say, because we're going to be busting out of the seams here pretty soon. So my friend Olivia from Hillside Rookery, and Olivia B is her channel on Instagram and on YouTube. She has really started doing a lot more applique quilts and just quilts in general. She bought some patterns for her shop, and I ordered some of these. So this is Heart Spun Quilts, which I think is Pam Buddha's line. Is that true, or did I just tell a fib? Yeah, it was Pam Buddha. Redwood Manor. Love that. And this one is Primitive Pieces by Linda. Bats in the Attic. Isn't that gorgeous? So some of the Pam Buddha coal and cheddar might be good for this. That line, coal and cheddar. Timeless Traditions, Home is Best. Isn't that sweet? I might just stitch this and not even put the Home is Best. Just make it like this. And then, oops, I bought these needles. These are applique needles. And the last pattern is Star Garden by Timeless Traditions. You know, I was a big doodler as a kid. I was a drawer. I would draw, you know, farm landscapes, farmhouses, barns, silos, trees, rivers, orchards. I just was always enamored by that. So when I see things that are pieced or their applique. It just takes me back there. Obviously this too, right? So I could see myself like spending hours messing with something like this. And also it inspires me to want to create my own creations, get my scraps out and just see what you can make from the things that you have on hand. Because let's be honest, 100 years ago, people just made do with what they had primarily, or they treasured the scraps and the pieces that they had or exchanged with other quilters or stitchers and created their own creations. So that's it for today. I am so glad to see you again. I will see you probably in 2 weeks because you never know what's going to come out of a retreat. It's going to be awesome. I'm super happy to be heading out and seeing my friends. And I know that some of you are going to be there too. I'm looking forward to seeing you, and we will see you then. Take care.